Thanks for joining the Victors Nation show. I am your host, Jason Robinson. My peeps, Derek McCarty and Dre Fabe. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for free. Also, follow us and listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, we're discussing USC recap and moving on to Washington. 4-2 record, not bad, but it's how we're losing and looking in certain games. So we're here tonight to talk about if you should be panicking, if you should be streaking, or if you should just be relaxing. So you be the judge after. We're just going to tell it how it is. So make sure you comment and join us for some transparent conversations tonight. Who knows? We might even get mad and talk about the 3rd and 26 run up the middle conversion for a first down, but we'll see if it gets there. But take it away, dude.
Yeah, so really, the only way that I can describe what we saw on Saturday against USC was highly disappointing, a highly disappointing loss. And I don't know. I don't know who I don't know if I texted this to you guys or who. I have so many text message threads that go on during a Michigan game, but I'm reading a book right now, and there's a quote in the book that stuck out to me recently from Muhammad Ali. And that Muhammad Ali quote said, "I never won a fight in the ring. I always won in preparation." And I think one of the things that was that to you guys? So
Yeah.
one of the things that stands out to me this year and last year, but this year when against Oklahoma, against USC, and against Wisconsin at some capacity, we definitely held an advantage against Wisconsin when it came to just overall skill level on both sides of the ball. But one thing that stuck out is it doesn't look like we are prepared going into the games on either side of the ball. And that's one of the things that to me leaves me highly disappointed. And we got spoiled. We got spoiled from 21 through 23. And this is something that Jim Harbaugh does and always did. Right, 21 through 23 is going to be the glory years that we remember. But when Jim Harbaugh came to Michigan, Michigan had a lot of gaps to bridge between them and top tier programs. But one of the things that they consistently did is they showed up prepared to play a football game. They showed up and they knew what their jobs were. We had conservative offenses. That was a big thing during the Harbaugh era for a lot of years was our offense was conservative. Our offense was conservative. But guess what? They weren't missing blocks. They weren't missing assignments. They were at least doing their jobs. And defensively, until the very end of the Don Brown era, 2020 is the only asterisk year where this game kind of reminded me of 2020. That they just did not look on the defensive side of the ball, especially. They did not look like they were prepared for situational football. They did not look like they were prepared for USC's tendencies, which is a big part of it. It looks like they came out arrogantly thinking we can just do whatever we want and we'll win the football game. And that's what I think bit them. I think, against Brett Venables and against Lincoln Riley, I think that they got thoroughly out game planned and thoroughly out coached because they did not know, they did not look like they knew what they were doing. And a couple of things that just, really, really irritate me from an execution standpoint. And I want to say that this comes to coaching is understanding what is going on. So there was I believe a 3rd and 11 play in the game, and they threw like a 15-yard pass in the seam to the tight end, right? And so down and distance situational football, our linebacker that had that zone got like 6-7 yards of depth in his drop. And had he dropped deeper to hypothetically protect the first down marker, that ball wouldn't have been delivered. That would not have been a completion. There was another situation where we were it was 3rd and 4, every corner on the field is playing off coverage by about 8 yards. You're giving them the first down. You're giving them the first down. Play, play up to the man at the line of scrimmage, and those are just things of situational football that we're not used to seeing. And I know, fan reactions. We saw a lot of them after the game, and we're probably going to have some too because we're just like you guys, right? We talk about it all the time. We are a podcast by fans for fans. And I there were some execution errors, and I know that as fans we always want to we always notice, right? Someone misses a tackle. It seems like we missed a shitload of them this week, right? I don't know how many missed tackles we had, but way too many. We see drop passes, right? But we're talking about kids playing a game, and most of us in our life, if we make a mistake, nobody notices, and we have the ability to hit backspace and delete it, or just fix it. In a game of football, they've got one chance to make a play, and mistakes are going to happen. What I think the biggest factor here is, though, is the lack of preparation from coaching. I think that the biggest thing that needs to be fixed right now, I think, has to come from the coaching staff. And I know that it's really easy, and a lot of people are blasting Sherrone Moore, right? And there's merit to it, but there's still an opportunity to fix it, right? And every game is a playoff game from here on out. We've got 2 losses, including one in the Big Ten. If we want to be playing in the playoffs, we can't afford another loss unless we get lucky and have a few other teams lose some games along the way. So I think it's got to start with the coaches. I think the coaches have to do a better job of putting the players in a position where they don't have to think, they can just play. And right now, I don't know that we're doing that. I don't see it. I don't see it on Saturdays. I see it against teams that we're significantly better than, but how much of that is preparation versus how much of it is just having more talent and being able to outmatch the Central Michigans of the world.
Yep.
No, that's my rant to start on the coaching staff. We had a comment come in.
Good questions too and statements. So yeah.
Brett came in here, just undisciplined, no preparation, looked like they didn't want to be there, didn't care if they won or lost. Got to change right now. Yes, that does have to change, and I can.
Let me put this out there. I don't know if anybody has ever flew from the East Coast to the West Coast, but bro, when I tell you, bro, that change in time zones really do something to your body. Like you really do. Your body clock is a real thing. I never understood what a body clock was until this weekend. Like it say it's 5 o'clock, but your body telling you it's 8. It's saying it's 8 o'clock, but your body telling you it's 11. So I think that was one of the factors. I'm not saying coaching wasn't a part of it, but that played a big part. I think a lot of these young kids wasn't ready for that. And I don't think that that Thursday situation I think they should have left a day before, or maybe even on, you know what I'm saying? Because I think he said in his press conference he was leaving Thursday night. No, bro, you should have left Wednesday and let them chill on Thursday, practice Friday, and then had the game. I think that was a major factor in it, because I'm telling you, bro, as soon as I step foot, you just don't feel how you do when you're at home. It was a different thing. I don't know how long your body adjusts to you know what I'm saying, doing that, but that was a real thing, man. It seemed like you can't catch your energy the whole time you're there, because like I said, your body clock is somewhere else.
There's definitely some merit to that, and it works both ways, though, right? So it works in our favor. It'll work in our favor this upcoming weekend when Washington comes here and is playing at 9 o'clock their time, right? It's 9 in the morning for them,
USC
and they're going to be
goes
playing
to
a game.
Illinois and almost beats Illinois. So I just, they left the day before. I get it, but I there's no way that's an excuse.
I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm not using that as an excuse at all. But I'm saying that it's a real thing.
It's a real
thing.
But I don't. It's a real thing, but I don't care. That's on coaching. They shit the bed. The USC can still come to Illinois and beat Illinois. There's no issues. It's still not an excuse. I'm not saying that you said it's an excuse. I'm saying it's not an excuse at all.
I thought UCLA. I thought USC lost to
they
Illinois.
Did. Barely.
Who they lose to?
Barely, but they still played a game. We got our ass kicked. Illinois.
But okay. That's why I was like, hold on, didn't they lose to Illinois? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, at Illinois though, and they still played a really good game. This still comes down to prep. Like, I don't care. I mean, fuck, we're supposed to go to Germany next year. I know it's against a really weak opponent, but like still, it doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter.
I mean, that's I doubt it. I doubt if he leave a 2 or 3 days before for Germany, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I think they'll at least be over there a week.
So, but
it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the difference between the two for when you can leave and when you can't leave is we got to remember that they are still college students, right? So even though there's NIL and even though there's revenue sharing now, they still got classes during the week that they've got to go to. Next year before Germany, that's before Labor Day weekend. So I'm not sure when class starts, but I think that it's going to be less impactful because I'm not sure that classes start before that game.
Probably will a week after.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks after, I'm guessing. Usually.
And I feel like as athletes, they teachers already know. So I feel like they like, say if they had a test on Wednesday and they was leaving Wednesday, I think they teacher will, you know what I'm saying, reschedule at least that player's test or the players that's leaving test, or to make them do it a couple of days before they leave. Like, I don't think, you know what I'm saying, schooling, I mean, don't, because I'm about to say this and it's going to sound crazy, but I don't think schooling matters, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that.
So
I might be wrong, though.
Right. Well, I mean, it does. So you got to remember that we're talking about Michigan, right? We're talking about a school that is rated as one of the best academic institutions year after year throughout the country, right? So it's, when you're looking at trying to leave 2 to 3 days early, you're talking about missing a half a week plus of classes. And that work's not going to go away, right? So you also got to keep in mind that for the majority of the football players on the team, they aren't playing at the next level. The majority of these guys, they're not the guys that are, we might get a handful of players drafted off of each team, but the majority, you've got guys that are going there as studying pre-med, studying physics, studying business, and so it's easy for us to say it doesn't matter as fans because we care about what happens on Saturday, right? But you've got over 100 players there that the majority of them, they get to play football, they get to be part of the team, but their career is coming off of the foundation of where they get their degree, right? And so that does impact, and that workload means if they miss 2 to 3 days of class, they got to make it up, right? So then they're coming back and they're preparing for Washington, but also catching up on 2 to 3 days worth of missed class time at the same time. So the travel aspect of it
is different if they away. I think the schedule is different for them when it's home and away. You can't, you know what I'm saying, like, they at home, you know what I'm saying? Them catching up on work shouldn't be that hard when they at the crib. I don't think that they practice every day.
Football ain't
they might be in the building every day, but I don't think they practice every day.
Basketball is going to be on a whole new level. A whole new level. Football ain't shit with this guy.
And that's what I mean. See, and basketball, Right, with the schedule, that proves my point. See, now with basketball, they be gone like 2 or 3 times, maybe, you know what I'm saying, 4 times a week. So how does that work? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They gotta
it's
have
Technology.
some type of grace, man. They got to.
Technology.
That too.
yeah.
That too.
Yep, for sure. But it's going to be tough, and it's something that it is. I know we're talking about USC, but it is one of the things that the Big Ten conference expanded for money, right, financially to capitalize really on the football revenue and a little bit of the basketball revenue, right? But football is the cash cow,
Student athletes.
right? And that's this. Who cares about that if there's an extra $1 billion to get, right? But that's
What's up? What's up, Go Blue Maniac? What's up, dude? I thought
My
that was
boy.
Isaiah Hall for a second when I saw the picture.
My boy.
yeah. And Brett's got a good point here too. Most courses can be done online now, so I'm sure a lot of those guys do it on a laptop on the plane.
They
So
have to. A
that
lot of those
Fact.
guys can't even go to the
I,
classroom. Like
I,
JJ, I think that he was all online. He was all
yeah,
online for obvious reasons. So
yeah, for sure.
facts. See, you know what
Let's
I'm saying? Like, yeah, they can leave. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they see. With that being said, I feel like they'll be able to leave on a Wednesday.
yeah. Let's take a
But
moment
go
here
ahead though.
while we're not super fired up yet and in a super big rant stage, and just throw a reminder out there. We are continuing to do everything we can to support Cora's crew. If you haven't listened to it, if this is your first time tuning in, go back, look at some of our previous episodes. It's pinned to our Facebook group page. But you'll find it on YouTube. You'll find it on Apple Podcasts. You'll find it on Spotify. We had a special episode with special guest Katie Fuller. Katie joined us and told the story of her daughter. Katie is listening right now. Shared the story of her daughter, Cora, who is 6 years old and currently battling childhood leukemia. And a really moving story. Young, definitely tougher than most, and diehard Michigan fan. And so, as we continue to support, if you you can also donate directly to the Fuller family. But we have Cora's crew T-shirts on our website, thevictorsnation.com/shop. All proceeds from those T-shirts will be donated directly to the Fuller family, and we will continue to promote this. This is something that we really feel a lot of emotion towards when it comes to kids. That's the one thing that it's tough. I was telling somebody the other day, probably you, Jason. I think we've talked about it. If I had something happen to my kids, that would absolutely ruin me. So anything that you can do helps, and even Cora says hi. So hi, Cora. We're continuing to promote your T-shirts, and on the back we put the Michigan football schedule this year. So again, thevictorsnation.com/shop. You can purchase a Cora's Crew T-shirt to keep awareness to the cause in general, with proceeds going to the Fuller family, or if there is anything that you would like to donate directly to the Fullers, or anything that you would like to contribute elsewhere, please reach out to us, and we will definitely connect you with Katie and anything that could help. So appreciate any support that comes along the way. Thanks for tuning in, Katie. You rock as well. All right, Jason, let's get to event session. You've been holding it in for 3 days.
I mean, it's not like too much like venting. It's just, I mean, I think honesty, but so I think there's like only so many times like you can just be humbled. But like, where's the change? Where's the growth mindset? Where's the adjustments? And I just don't see it with some of these staff members. I'm not saying anyone should get fired at this point. I don't think anyone should get fired at this point. Like all the fans, like I know it's reactive, and I kind of feel that way sometimes too. But in the moment, or during a game, or after a game, but you're not solving the actual issues right now. However, does there need to be questions addressed and conversations that need to be had? Yeah, pretty much. We don't look ready on defense. USC lined up, ready to go, and we're still rotating players more than our fucking basketball team getting caught with our pants down on our ankles. What are we doing? Play your best player. There's confusion. Our number ones can't get going. There's no momentum getting built from them. Like, I don't get this. I get what they're doing. Sure, appease a player for not transferring, but it's a business. This is turning into a business. You need to start playing your best player. Stop rotating in and out. It's driving me nuts. We saw the same thing last year. I don't get it. This isn't years past. I get we have depth there. It makes no sense to me. No sense. Stop doing it. Overconfident. Sherrone Moore, 11-7 now, record for a head coach, actual active head coach. You got to back your mouth up, dude. Very arrogant right now. Doesn't seem like much of a game plan, like Derek, you were talking about. Strategy, poorly managed, no discipline. They're basically just telling the team, go out there and just play a game. Just go out there. You're good. We got talent. What are you doing, man? I feel like I'll say this again. I've said this a lot. I said it last year. I'm so confident that Moore is still living in 21, 22, and 23. And trying to get in like they don't need a plan for a specific opponent. There's no strategy for me against the specific opposition on a weekly basis. I don't understand. So we're just gonna go in and get a win, as that's what it looks like. And I know, Derek, you kind of mentioned that too, but he just seems way overconfident, like he's living in 21 through 23. Like we're just gonna play bull constrictor football, and we're like 3 rooms deep at every position. Like he needs to wake up. This is a new team, new program, new players, and this offense seems handcuffed. And I don't think it's Chip Lindsey. I don't care who calls me out for it. This is not Chip Lindsey. This is not. He still has a say in some of these calls. He's way too conservative as a head coach. The offensive line, you're an O-line coach, and they look horrible yet. We're already mid-year in. What are you doing, man? There's no confidence in our wide receivers, and I get that at some player aspect, but like we have more holes in our secondary than fucking Swiss cheese, boys. It makes no sense. Like, what happened to last season's run adjustments? What happened to that momentum later in last year? We're not seeing it. It's like they dialed all the way back. So Sherrone and Wink, those are my biggest concerns regarding preparation and specifically no awareness at all. Like, they're oblivious to it. Like, what's going on? Like, I think this coaching staff needs to really look in the mirror and be honest. You have the talent. You do. You have the talent to win a championship. And now it's almost ruined. And you know you do. This team can win a lot of the games, the remaining schedule, on both sides of the ball. There's talent, offense and defense. But here we are having the same conversation, same pieces of the conversation that we did last year, besides the quarterback play. Okay, you solve for that. Besides Kurt Campbell, offensive coordinator, let's get more creative. You kind of solved for that. When Sherrone was gone, we saw winks of that. We saw glimpses in week 1 where we could strategize an open wide receiver. You brought Chip in and Bryce to do a specific job. So is it coincidence, or am I wrong that this offense is still not creative? It almost seems like it's last year. Or do we have the same head coach calling the shots? So that's a big question, I think, that needs to be answered. And Sherrone needs to be honest with himself. He needs to be honest with the program. He needs to be honest with the fans. You brought in Chip and Bryce to do a specific job, and it's looking like the same shit we had last year. Something's not adding up. The math ain't mathing for me. So both offense and defense, you're not hiding anything. It's just it's more basic than a plain piece of paper. That's all it is. We need to play Michigan football. We need to go back to the basics, and that starts with being honest, creating good communication as well, and playing complementary football that we talked about during the offseason. One of our first podcasts this year. That's what we wanted to see. We're not seeing it. We brought in some of the good pieces, but what's the difference? The same thing's the head coach. I'm not bought into him right now. I'm not saying he should be fired, but someone needs to look in the mirror for sure. The goals of being 4-2, they're not dead. The season ain't dead, but we really got to go back to 0-0 now. It's time to make some changes. We got to show some urgency because we take one loss, it's over. We're going to be close to 500. We got to go 1-0 against Washington. But man, like, this is Michigan. We're here to play for championships, not good fucking records. We're here to play and win championships. That's why we're here. Show us some fight, because I see other teams that want it more. They're more aggressive. They're more energetic. You can see it on a play. We're so undisciplined on defense. We can't even make the first tackle. So that goes into preparation. Definitely on the aspect of the road cause. But I know this group is tough. I know they're a resilient team. I know they're not going to back down. All I'm saying is there needs to be some type of conversation that needs to happen with the staff. And guess what? If you didn't have it last Saturday night, you're a little too late. So it's time to be honest because, again, something ain't clicking for me. The math ain't mathing, and I'm seeing the same similarities with the same head coach the year that we had the year before. Something ain't making sense. So it looks like we have some complacent coaches, in my opinion. That word drives me nuts saying that, but that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
A couple comments here. One comment here. S. Greg West, I think is the way that we're pronouncing this, or the way that I'm pronouncing this at least. Is Sherrone coaching his coaches hard? I don't know. It's really hard to tell because you don't see a lot out of Sherrone during a game, right? And so that has its place. I don't know. I think coaches should be themselves, but for example, I know this isn't answer or directing to is he coaching his coaches hard, but I'm gonna tie back to Jim Harbaugh, and I don't always mean to tie back to Jim Harbaugh, but he won us a national championship. There was Bryce Underwood threw an interception on a play where there was a clear and blatant pass interference penalty by USC on the intended receiver. The intended receiver, Donovan McCulley, got completely turned around. Jim Harbaugh might have thrown his headset at the. Yeah, but he made the read right away because McCulley would have been open too if he didn't get twisted around. So if McCulley doesn't get interfered with there, he had the guy beat, and that ball was coming underneath the safety. But because he got twisted around, it went right to the defender, right? But if that play happens under a Jim Harbaugh coach team, especially the pre-2020 Jim Harbaugh, that headset is flying. Right, that headset is flying and awkwardly hanging off of his pants and shirt, and Jim Harbaugh might be getting fined for screaming at the officials. And there was almost no emotion from Sherrone Moore. Now I'm not saying that the answer is to show emotion, but to answer the question on how is he coaching his coaches, I don't know. Like you can tell when head coaches are holding a high level of accountability for their assistants. And you can tell when they don't. So that is a good, fair question. The one thing that we don't know is what's happening in the meeting rooms, what's happening on the practice field, what's happening behind closed doors, because there very well may be a high level of accountability being held for those types of things, just not in a way where publicly people are going to see him yelling at his assistant coaches.
I mean, like Sherrone looks like I saw his face like towards the end of the game or whatever the hell they showed on TV. It looks like he's surprised they lost. Like you put that product out on the field, you're surprised? He looks shocked. Like, dude, you didn't prep at all. You just think it's 21, 22, and 23, and you think you're just going to go and kick ass and play bull constrictor Michigan football. I don't see it, man. I think it's the same plan every week. It's nothing different. Not impressed.
Yeah,
Adam.
couple more comments. So, Jeremy agreed with his twin brother Jason, 100% with what Jason was saying.
Blood.
Brett, stop being afraid and play some damn football. And then Jim would have went nuclear.
Exclamation point on that. Yep.
Yeah. So we touched on a couple things that I want to highlight. And I want to highlight that it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad, but it could have been worse. So USC turned the ball over inside of the 10-yard line twice. And one of them was an absolutely awful play and decision by their quarterback, and another one was an awesome play and hit by Jair Hill to knock the ball out.
Helmet at first, but he knocked the shit out of him, dude.
Yeah, I want to see more of that out of Jair Hill.
Yes.
But offensively, we did piece together a couple good drives. Before Justice Haynes got hurt, he had 10 carries for 51 yards. He was averaging over 5 yards per carry. No home runs. He was just kind of gashing them. And our offensive line, we had a couple series where when we got into a rhythm, our offensive line was reestablishing the line of scrimmage, which is what you want to see. It just wasn't sustained. And Jordan Marshall, he averaged 4.9 yards per carry, 14 carries for 68 yards. We were running the ball pretty decent. We were running the ball good enough that if we had a good mix and if we had the ability to get a couple stops defensively, our offense would have definitely hung out and kept us in the game. However, when it got out of hand, we had to get one-dimensional and try to throw the ball, which puts a freshman quarterback playing a good team in a tough road environment 3 time zones away, as Dre alluded to, in a difficult position when everyone knows down distance situational football what's coming. And Andrew Marsh, man, dude, this guy, Andrew Marsh is going to. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for what we potentially have with 2 true freshmen in Bryce Underwood and Andrew Marsh, a connection that we're going to get to see for a few years. And don't forget that we have a true freshman offensive lineman, Andrew Babalola, that was a favorite to be a starting tackle on this offensive line. We have Andrew Sprague, who is a redshirt freshman, and Jake Unara. And Jake Unara, who is a redshirt freshman starting on the offensive line. So if you look at what we put out there, right, as disappointing of a loss as it is, and as much as we can point to coaching staff and things that we would like to see differently from the coaching staff, and I believe that that's where the blame is going to go. Champions either win or they learn, right? There's no losing. You either win or you learn. And one of the things that I think really created a player-led culture was, do you remember back in 2021 when JJ and Donovan were true freshmen? And after games, they would get kicked off of the field because they would go out and run routes and run plays and Andrell Anthony, right? So that's the type of thing that it just creates a high standard of performance is the expectation in the locker room.
We need Aiden Hutchinson right now.
Yeah, we need somebody.
Someone needs to be an Aiden Hutchinson right now because
for sure.
He is one of the main factors on why this program got turned around, and now it looks like we're digressing back.
Yeah, but
not horrible, not as bad, but still.
But speaking of that though, how much of that has to do with the transfer? I think someone asked us this last week or in the last couple of weeks with the transfer portal, with NIL, with revenue sharing, right? How much of that creates? I know Michigan has a motto this year: "Team over me," right? Great motto. But when you've got guys that this is their first year with the program versus guys that have been embedded with what the Michigan culture is supposed to be and created the culture, how much of that makes it? I don't know that we know the answer to this, but how much of that makes it difficult for a team to go through a rough patch? Because I think we know it, we feel it. The players certainly feel it, right? There's a lot of pressure. Michigan won a national championship 2 seasons ago. There's a lot of pressure on these players to perform at a very, very high level week in and week out. But how? I just don't know what the mentality is in this era of college football, where I feel like that team culture sometimes it's hard to find and it's hard to build because there's so many transfer ins and transfer outs, and especially with a youthful team like what we're talking about, where there are so many freshmen and redshirt freshmen and young players that are contributing players. That's a challenge, and you're right. We do need, sometimes it's got to be a player-led meeting and player leadership that says there's an expectation here, and I don't care. I don't care what play is called. Our expectation as players should be we're going to kick the fucking shit out of whoever is across from us. If we have an opportunity to make a tackle, we are making sure that person does not want to be tackled again for the rest of the game. If we have an opportunity to make a block, we are going to make sure that we sustain that block long enough to execute the play. I think you're right. We need a player to step up and be like Aiden Hutchinson, but I always, I'm questioning now, is that even possible in this era of football with so many transfers in, transfers out, to have that team first identity?
It is.
I hope
feel
so.
like it is. I mean, why not? You still got to come in and play the game, even if it's me. You still got to play the game with your brothers. I feel like it's a little unbalanced. I feel like it's less more about the team and it's starting to get more about them. You know what I'm saying? Because of the NIL. And I'm not just speaking on Michigan. I'm speaking on, college football as a whole. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The NIL, and I think it's really messing the game up. They getting paid, man, so it's not so competitive. They know, hey, if you don't pay me, I can go around the corner and get such and such. No, it ain't like, all right, I gotta work for it. It ain't no money get. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta work. The money coming to the next level. So I think it took a lot of drive out of people.
Yeah, it's their main goal is to get to professional football and work their asses off. Maybe stay with that one program, but now they're getting money right now. And I'm not saying that's every player, right? Because each player might be a little bit different. But I mean, they also go to that program knowing what they're transferring into at the same time as well, too. And if you look at Michigan, it's not just about the money. Money's there. We got revenue share to $20.5 million, mostly going to football, and then some. But at the same time, you're also there to play football, and I feel like I hate to say it, but I feel like we're kind of losing some of that culture. I feel like we're and I'm not just saying Michigan, I'm saying all college football.
College teams, yeah.
It's the NCAA has done a shit job of this. They usually do a shit job at everything, but they've done a really crappy job. So as soon as the Big Ten and the SEC take over, there'll be caps. There'll be caps with this stuff. It'll get a little bit better, but the best man's going to play in that, and there might be some adversity in the locker room too, where that person's getting paid for me. Tough shit. I mean, this is going to start turning into a semi-pro.
To be honest, I don't even think the best people getting paid. To be honest, I don't even think it'd be the best people getting paid no more. You feel me? I think if you jump in the portal and it's a high commodity for your team, somebody gonna throw a bag at you. You know what I'm saying? And you might not even be the best. You know what I mean?
That makes him the best player to come and transfer so they can snag him. So Penn State's got 6, 7 people. I mean, they're gonna get a ton of money wherever they end up. Well, wherever they go, but yeah.
Yeah, a couple more comments came in here, Jeremy. There's a serious lack of situational awareness and urgency. We're here to win national championships, not to coast through games and hope for the best. When are we going to start playing Michigan football? And then Brett emphasizing the idea of the student athlete, which has slowly faded into more of just the athlete. It's faded into some student athletes and some paid athletes when it comes to who's getting the NIL money and revenue
like
sharing,
Jason
is split up.
said, it's a business now. It's a whole business now. So
It, yeah, and
you know
high
what I
school
mean?
football is
Like
going to be
it's
turning
about the
into the same
money.
way at some point.
Yep.
It
But hey,
is
It really
low
is.
key. I don't know. We can pay our high school players in Michigan.
Yeah, weekend too. It just got approved. It got declined barely in 24, leaving after the NFL draft in Detroit in 24. It just got approved this year, so Wisconsin can pay, and
See,
or they can get
that's
NIL.
going. That's going. See now how that's going to
Imagine,
affect going to
imagine
college. You know what I'm
IMG
saying?
Academy in Florida. Imagine California high schools. Imagine Texas.
no.
Like it's.
Right.
I
Like
mean,
it's
damn,
gonna
dude.
be out
Like,
of it's gonna get out of hand, bro.
so I don't know what they have to do. I'm not in charge of that, so some
People
moron
Same.
like
already
you
gonna be
more than me could figure that
multimillionaires
out.
before they even get to the league.
So
Yeah.
So I do want to pause and just specify something here for anyone that is listening, because we do have relationships with families of present and past players. In no way, shape, or form are we saying that we feel like there's anybody on Michigan's roster that feels or is acting as if they are bigger than the team. We are just talking about the concept of the modern era of college football and how it may lead to culture differences from what it was in the past, where people came and played in the same program freshman year through sometimes, well, typically a
Whenever they
fourth or fifth
left.
year. Yeah. And so that's all that we're talking about, because I do not see any indications of that on the Michigan football team at all. And it's another good opportunity to interject and put in here, um, fan culture. Fan culture is something that it's tough because we're diehard Michigan fans, which means that we are emotional Michigan fans, right? And one of the most important things, because fan culture can, in my opinion, I don't have any data because I'm just fans like anyone else that is kind enough to tune in every week or tune in for the first time today, listening to our podcast. I think fan
Thank you.
culture is a big piece of recruiting, right? So I think that if if there's one thing to continue to do in a tough season, it's not stop showing up at games. It's not to boo the coaching staff at games. It's not to ever, under any circumstance, boo a college football player, an 18 or a 19 or a 20-year-old that's playing on the field, because most of those guys, even if they miss an assignment here or there, are better at doing their jobs than most of us are at doing whatever it is that we do. Right? But I think, as a fan base and as fans, I think it's still really important to show up, be loud, make the big house the loudest environment for opponents to come into, right? To make sure that win or lose, anybody that comes and plays at Michigan is going to be supported on and off the field. So I think it's really easy to be emotional, and get reactive and want to stop watching the games or stop going to the games or start selling your season tickets or whatever. But I think that
Let's get
just the
over
opposite.
that.
If we as a fan base keep showing up, keep being loud, keep supporting the team, keep supporting the players, that that's the type of culture that people want to come play for, right? That's the type of culture that coaching staffs get motivation from. So I think that that's a good opportunity because it's easy to lose sight of some of that stuff as fans.
And speaking of that, man, our fans, you know what I'm saying, in our comments and posts, man, y'all gotta relax, bro. Y'all gotta really chill. Like Derek said, man, we got families of the players in there active and I mean current players and players that already went to the league, or you know what I'm saying. Y'all gotta chill, man. Because if that was your sons, brothers, cousins, or whatever, y'all wouldn't want them. You know what I'm saying? People were talking about them because they missed a block or they dropped a
Not
pass,
a good
or you
look.
know what I'm saying, bro. It's
Bryce
it's
throwing
definitely
too
not a
hard.
good look, man.
Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And then turn around, if y'all see these kids, y'all gonna want an autograph, or y'all gonna want a picture, or y'all gonna want something. So come on, man. Try to keep it respectful
Yeah.
when it comes to your posts. Like I continuously say, we want your opinions, bro. That's what we made the page for. We want your opinions, but keep the opinions
Keep the
respectful.
names.
I mean,
Keep the
sport,
names out of your
yeah,
mouth,
sport
and yeah. I mean, you can
facts.
go. I mean,
Sports
I don't
talk don't
want you
gotta be
to like we
disrespectful,
are.
man.
I get it at a point where we're somewhat contradicting ourselves. We're never going to go after a player. We keep it broad when we do. Coaching staff, it's a
Facts.
little bit different.
Facts.
More
Right.
adults. Not justifying it, but still, these are kids, and they're working their ass off, and they're going to a really hard university to get a really good education too. They do not have a lot of free time in
17
their
to
lives at their
18-year-old
age right now.
kids.
It's
Some
it's
of them.
tough. It's tough. And yeah, I mean, maybe the coaching staff maybe not putting them up for success right now. That part's really frustrating. I get that, but that's on them, and they gotta change. They gotta change. But yeah, keep it clean, keep it broad. We got a lot of players' parents, current and like Dre said, previous as well too. So um, just make sure you're being respectful, or otherwise you're gonna just take
I,
pictures of
I,
headshots and we're just
I
gonna
was
post them in
I
the
was
locker room.
talking to one Sunday morning, and they told me they had to stay off social media because of
Oh,
how we are as fans. I'm just like, bro, that's insane. You know what I'm saying? I understand fans is short for fanatics, but come on,
There's
man, we got to
there's
do
worth
better.
there's worth
We got to
fan
do better.
bases, aka the suck guys. There is worse fan bases, but I mean, I don't
We got
really
to do
blame
better.
Ohio State when there's nothing to do in that shithole state. But regardless, yeah, we got to do better. We're a brand, right? We don't work for the University of Michigan, but everyone that puts on collegiate gear for the Wolverines, you represent that brand as yourself. So you're not an employer of them or anything like that, but still at the same time, you have to be a good fan. You have to represent Michigan, and you protect that brand regardless. So, like I said, you might not be an employer. I don't think it really matters once you put on that Michigan gear. Like we wear our stuff, or we wear Michigan stuff. Like we want to make sure that we're respectful, but at the same time, we also got a job to do. But we're not going to go after any kids. No way.
right.
We're not going to go after any parents or any player on the team.
And to that point, one of the things is, so this group, the Victors Nation, right? So for those of you that are just now becoming familiar with the group, the Victors Nation started as just a Michigan fan page that Jason started on Facebook, and it blew up. What do we have right now? 18.2 thousand people.
We're very close to 18.5 thousand.
Okay,
We're out.
18.5 thousand people in a private
Approved
Facebook group.
seven. Yeah, we approved 7,000 plus just this year.
And so one of the things is, like, I listen to a lot of Michigan podcasts, and there's some really good content out there. If you listen to Isaiah Hole, who is also someone that follows the page with Locked On Wolverines podcast, great content, and Wolverines Wire, great content. Blue by 90 produces great content and has good podcasts. If you listen to Sam Webb and 24/7 Sports, you're going to get great content. If you listen to the guys over at the Wolverine, you're going to get good content. If you listen to Mason Brew, you're going to get good content, right? Those are all content producing sites where they're businesses. We have an LLC too, but the difference is that we're a community, right? And so that when we come on here, we're not coming on here getting paid, throwing advertisements at you at this point in time, right? We're not publishing articles or going to press conferences, right? We have no affiliation outside of being fans just like you, trying to connect you to relationships that we have with players. That's why we've done podcasts with players' parents and families and told their stories. We try and connect you with good content. But one of the things that I think differentiates, so anyone that is that's listening and in our Facebook group. If you're not and you have Facebook, go search for the Victors Nation. We have a public page that we created that we're continuing to try and update. That way we can make stuff shareable, but find our Facebook group and join it. And I think a huge differentiator is that it's a fantastic community. It's a place where people can ask for help if they're coming to their first Michigan game with their 14-year-old son that's been dying to go to a game, and they're asking for places to go out to eat and where they can see the players walk into the stadium at. And it's just a really cool community, and that community does include the family of players. And I think one of the things that differentiates what we do, what we talk about, what we do with this podcast, what we do as a group, is that it's 100% community based. Michigan fans that just love Michigan, and players' families should feel welcome, right? They should be able to see the content that we talk about. That they should be, Andrew Marsh, right? We brought Eleanor Marsh on for a podcast. She's on the Facebook page, and she should be able to go on there and celebrate the fact that her son that was in high school last year is as a true freshman, one of only 3 receivers in 3 years that had over 100 yards receiving in a football game at Michigan, at one of the most prestigious football universities in the history of all of football, right? Like that should be blasted everywhere. And for the most part, I think that we do it. It's good. It's great to have people fired up and sharing their opinions following wins and losses. Just be conscious of the community that we have as Michigan fans, and what fan culture can do positively and negatively for not only these 18 to 21 year olds, but the families. I mean, that's heavy, and they sign up for it to come play at the university here. They sign, it's part of the process, and it's not just at Michigan that this stuff happens. What do you think it's like at Penn State right now? It's not great.
Disaster. I don't even think he should have got fired. Like, he should have got fired a while ago. I get that, but this was the wrong time to fire him. Very wrong time. Facing the inevitable.
If they don't hire my man from Indiana, they fumbled. I think they're gonna hire my man from Indiana. They fumble.
Man, holy shit, he fucking turned that around. Indiana's not a football school.
Didn't he?
I mean, they went 0-46 versus top 5 teams, I think, on the road. That was their first ever top 5 road win. That's insane. You must be stealing signs. That's what Ohio State fans would say. Makes sense.
A couple other comments that came in here. Brett, our starting quarterback at this point last year, was doing a math test in high school. And Jeremy, well said, Derek. And you know what? While we're talking about the community of the Victors Nation and what we do here and how we like it, get your Victors Nation gear. We've got a store that we built, and we're guilty as charged at needing to continue to update this and promote it and create some new merch. So if you have ideas of stuff that you'd like to see on merchandise, send it our way. But the victorsnation.com/shop, the first thing you're going to be seeing there is our Cora's Crew collection, which, again, as we talked about, all proceeds are going to the Fuller family. But even if you choose to buy a Victors Nation sweatshirt, like what I'm wearing here tonight, a Victors Nation cap, a t-shirt, something, when you check out, you will actually have an option for an additional donation. So even if you're purchasing Victors Nation apparel, you can still make a donation, and that stuff is trackable, and we'll make sure that is part of anything that we donate to the Fuller family. So real quick here, I know we spent a lot of time talking about what went wrong, and probably really only scratched the surface on what went wrong, but you can't beat a dead horse, because that no matter what we talk about, there's no way that we can go back and change what took place, and neither can the coaches. Nobody can. But looking ahead, we've got Washington coming to town this week, and flip it on them, they're going to be playing that game at 9 o'clock in the morning for their internal body clock. But what do you guys think is the most important thing that we need to do to get back on track? Because like we said earlier, we're in playoff mode now. It's survive in advance, and so there can't be any more hiccups this season.
Urgency is the key word here. No,
Is Justice playing? Is Justice out?
It's hard to say. I don't know. There's no clear answer. Just that he is continuing to work through something. It sounded optimistic, but we'll see. But I think
is Marshall out?
No, Marshall will be.
About Marshall?
No. So Jordan Marshall should be good to go. And I hope Justice Haynes is good to go, just because I think that he can still continue having a borderline Heisman type campaign, even missing half a game against USC.
Yeah, he was still on his way to 100 yards. He was on his way to 100 yards easily.
Yeah, for sure.
He was definitely on his way. You know what I'm saying? I think if he wouldn't have got hurt, the game would have been a totally different game. Not saying, you know what I'm saying, barring everything else. I just feel like when he got injured, it deflated the whole game. You know what I mean? Like, damn, we got it, my boy, our boy. You know, I don't know. It just felt weird. It felt weird in there, man. It just did. I'm telling you, man. Going in, I don't know. Maybe it was still my body clock, but it felt like a weird day at USC for real, for real. I don't know if any other Michigan fan that went can attest, but it just felt weird. I don't know.
Brett says let the ball rip and tackle someone.
Facts, tackle.
So you know, I'm gonna throw it back out there, and you know I'm just gonna say this: Jim Harbaugh is like my favorite coach of all time. But Jim Harbaugh always said, and he still says, you got to win two out of three phases of the football game to win the football game. Against USC, we clearly lost in every phase of the game. So I think when it comes to Washington, number one, it starts with preparation. We have to be better prepared. We have to be better prepared with what our strengths are, and not continue focus on. My headset just died. Not continue to focus on whatever it is that we think that we can do, and just do it, right? We can't just keep banging our head against a wall when it's not working. But we do have to come in prepared. We have to come in prepared to what we do well, what we do that matches up with Washington, and understand their tendencies. We have to. USC knew what we were doing in several situations. Oklahoma knew what we were doing in several situations. They clearly knew our tendencies.
I mean, we do it every week. Run, pass.
For sure. And so I think that's one of the biggest things is we got to come in prepared, and we've got to execute, and we've got to bounce back. We can't let one bad game be two bad games. Right, we've got to bounce back. The brand new week, put last week behind us, move forward, learn from our mistakes, learn from our missed assignments, learn from our missed execution, and just come out and be a little bit better this week than we were last week. We probably got to be a lot better this week than we were last week.
I want to see some better plays. I'm tired of them screens behind the line.
Someone's got to cover the flat. That's on Wink. He's got to make adjustments.
That too.
Getting too many chunk yards off of simple shit. Like he's got to adjust. Like
all of that blitzing
at the end of last year, and then he digressed to his old ways. Dude. Like, and he doesn't hide it either. There's no scheme. He just sends it. Like
facts, bro. He just send it, bro. Oh my god.
He literally was the same frustrated defense, basic. Not hidden, no schemes, nothing defense that he had last year. Then towards the end of the year, he was a genius. He adjusted, and now he's back to his old ways. Like, are you okay, man? Like, I don't know, man. I really, I really can't get my head wrapped around. He's just stubborn to me. I don't get it. But if it's other coaches, I mean, we already know there is, but Moore needs to start having some honest conversations here about himself and then also his staff. Like, come on, this should have been during the off season, man. We're already mid season. Like, what are you doing, dude? Let's hurry up. TikTok.
Well, let's finish up here with
Yeah.
some predictions. So score predictions for this weekend. So I'll go first here. I think I would love to come in and see us just absolutely shit on Washington and silence everything that was an issue last week. I cannot, in good conscience, pick Michigan to ever lose a game under any circumstances. But I don't think it's going to be something that we come out and just dominate. I think it's going to be something that still has some challenges, especially if we've got some players that are banged up. I don't anticipate. We saw Bryce get dinged up a little bit, so I don't anticipate that there's going to be a whole lot of running threat or designed runs for him this week. I think maybe, hopefully, we can see the offense open up the passing game just a little bit more in non-predictable situations, especially seeing Marsh and McCulley over the last couple of weeks show some really good potential. But my prediction is 27-24 Michigan.
It's exactly mine. Crazy, dude. Just to segue off of that, same score, 27-24. A couple of reasons. We've gone this long. I just don't see Coach Moore changing. I just really don't. Unfortunately. So I feel like we're still, even at home, I still feel like he's going to be stuck in his ways, and I just don't see a lot of prep. I don't know if he can do it. I don't know if he can change. I'm not sure, but it's too early to call, and I just see a close game. Probably should just blow out Washington. They are a really good football team this year. Should have beat them last year. But that's one of the reasons I just don't see him changing right after the USC game, and it should be obvious that you should change. But that's on him, not my life. Two, another reason, if I see back to back to back us go on defense, the opposition going on offense first possession of the game, and just drive it right down our throat all the way down to the field and score a touchdown, I might lose my mind on Wink next week. 2 weeks in a row, even against Wisconsin. Held their own against Wisconsin after. I get that. We shut them out. They only scored 3 points the rest of the game after that first touchdown. But my God, man, back to back weeks, if I see a third one, I'm going to lose my mind on him next week. I'm going to freak out. So those are some reasons why I'm still keeping it a close game. I think 27-24 is exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, this starts with coaching, and they should have had these conversations a long time ago. But they need to look in the mirror and they need to get their shit together, real quick. Urgency. Trey, what do you got, dude?
2017 Michigan. I do feel like it's gonna be a low scoring game.
Yeah, and not bad about Washington. They are a good team. But yeah, go ahead, Trey. They
Yeah,
are good.
Washington
Good team.
they're gonna be a real good team playing against us, but we are at home. They got us up by 5.5. Vegas got us up 5.5. Well, minus 5.5. I mean, so um, we should win. Not saying Vegas just told me who's gonna win anything, but we should win. But I still think it's gonna be closer than what people think it's gonna be. But I think the defense is gonna have a point to prove, and it could be a blowout. But we shall see, man. And I predict another 100 yards by either Andrew Marsh or McCulley. I think we're gonna start seeing that more frequent. And when we start seeing that more frequent, yeah.
Yep,
So that's my take on it. But I don't know. I still think that we're gonna win.
And if the defense kills it, are we going to see that complimentary football where they're going to? I know Dave Portnoy kind of said it too at his press conference after, so to speak, just with his phone in his car or whatever. But like, let fucking Bryce throw the ball. I care if he throws an interception, yes, but my God, take some shots down the field and take some chances and stop throwing these fucking screen passes. We can't even cover him
Bro, them
ourselves
screen
on
passes
defense.
getting on my nerves, bro.
Let him throw a forward pass for the love of God. It's handcuffed. So we're seeing coaching issues on both sides of the ball. So gotta start taking some chances because guess what? Time's up. We got 2 losses. Gotta be urgent now. Real quick. Time's up. Can't lose anymore, boys. So,
For sure.
Gotta get your shit together real quick.
For sure. So thank you for everyone that tuned in tonight. Thank you for everyone that listened for the first time. If you haven't, be sure to follow us on YouTube at the Victors Nation Podcast, or find us by searching for the Victors Nation on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, if you have Facebook and you are not yet part of the Victors Nation Facebook group, join the group. Promise you, it's the best Michigan fan group. No disrespect to any other Michigan fan groups that are out there, because I follow a number of them.
And refer. And actually, when you refer, make sure you're actually inviting Michigan friends, not your troll Ohio State friends, because I'm gonna start banning you. Saw a couple more of those the other day. Pisses me off. Michigan fans.
On that note, Dre, you want to sign us off?
Thank y'all for tuning in tonight to another fantastic podcast with my brothers. We love y'all. Love one another, respect one another, and always go blue.
Go blue.